conference puts together a lot of my different worlds, which is social work, academia, the healing community, and the social justice community. A lot of us who are intersected in those different arenas have put this conference together for the last 10 years to really address the various arenas in which we're looking at liberation and healing.
So in resisting the pull to enter mainstream pedagogy and become part of the social contract of coloniality, this conference builds and embraces knowledge across disciplines with scholars and activists from borderland spaces, with the intent to grow, nurture, and fertilize this knowledge within these spaces. So we bring together multiple disciplines to dialogue and tear down the walls that are falsely constructed to maintain the system of coloniality.
This is a really important time. We're in the midst of a major social justice movement, and I wanted to be part of creating that space on this campus and within the San Fernando Valley to represent those voices who have been traditionally, historically disenfranchised, marginalized, harmed. I wanted to be part of creating a collective action that allows people to share their story, share their experience, network, build relationships with one another, and to come together and develop a new language and tools for pushing back and fighting for justice and equity.
The reason I'm at this conference, I'm a historian, I'm not a social worker, but I've worked in Native communities for many, many years and feel very strongly that the history itself is one of the problems that has to be corrected. That is an accurate history of why people live in the conditions that they do in the United States and the dysfunctionality that is programmed into the schooling, into the community, and the lack of resources.
It's a process that goes beyond what we know in academia, and so liberation-based healing means bringing in the holistic aspects of your life, your spiritual, the trauma that we've all experienced, but from a survivor of colonialism's perspective, because I think it's really important to think outside of the dominant cultural box.
This conference brings a lot of medicine, a lot of healing, and a lot of information. And the key point behind about the Lbhc is essentially to bring these tools to experts.
Whether you're a community member, a youth, a professional, service provider, any of those things, it's important not only kind of giving back to your community, but inspiring, keeping us motivated, giving us new ideas.
The term diversity has no ties to principles of equality and justice. This country was diverse when the colonizers arrived. We do not need more diversity. We have plenty of diversity, and we welcome diversity. Our problem is not diversity, our problem is equity.
It would seem that the measure of our health as a community may well reside in our ability to stand in awe at what the poor have to carry, rather than stand in judgment at how they carry it. It's about union and connection and exquisite mutuality. It's about our own kinship with each other.
From a social work background, it's been one of the few spaces where I feel like all of my fully, diverse self, all of my multiple identities are not only visible, seen, and honored, but also challenged to use myself, with accountability to this movement towards liberation.
Well, the work that keeps me involved in the Liberation-Based Healing Conference is the fact that there are many different other places out there that kind of conceptualize things into different brackets or different things that don't take into account the whole person, whereas when you come to Liberation-Based Healing Conference, the work that you get to experience, the work that you get to hear, the community service projects that are out, the project-based work that people are engaged in is something that is very engaging, very exciting. It keeps you motivated to keep doing more work that is really transformative.
The Liberation-Based Healing Conference affects the community in many ways. Since I work with continuation high school students who are very artistically talented, I felt it was necessary to bring in that art component to express some of the ways in which students heal through art. So a lot of their art is a real creative expression of some of the things that they're currently going through in terms of social justice, in terms of expression through their lived experiences.
What liberation-based healing really means to me is primarily it means that we need to look at our own individual experiences, the experiences of our community, but at the same time look to the experience of those other communities by listening to their voices, their stories, their narratives. That in turn then helps us understand our own emotions, our own perceptions, and our own individual experiences. Once we do that, we are then better able to understand these other communities. From that, we can grow in our relationship with one another. We can have communal support. We can have equitable support of one another when we have this growing experience. And that will then in turn make the world a more equitable place.
First obligation should be community organizers, and our first obligation should be to point out injustice and to dismantle it. And that means that we shouldn't have to be fighting for co-pays and fighting for resources in our community. We should be demanding that the resources that are ours, the money that was made off of slavery and sweatshops and genocide, should come back to the communities where those people have suffered. And so I would just encourage us all to first and foremost be a part of a movement, feed the movement, no matter where we are, whether we're teachers, we're social workers, or mental health.
Golden because of you, because of you, because of you. The words I write, I share on this mic for you. So I pray that on our worst days, you and I.